So from the father's perspective, I've already talked a little bit about how this highlights a fear of many men that they won't be able to provide for their families. He is unable to provide for his children, and that's why they aren't able to keep them. But the story doesn't substantially dwell on the father being unable to provide. His major moral defect seems to be his willingness to sacrifice his children for his own and his wife's sake. This is contrasted with Gretel in the witch's house when she says she wished that her and Hansel had died together, that it would have been better. What's more, the father on the second go-around knows that what they're doing is wrong, but chooses to do it anyway. I think this could be highlighting one of two things. First, it could be a critique about how trying to be consistent sometimes leads people to be evil. Out of pride, the father doesn't want to change his answer to what is right and just, and so even though he has this moral inclination that sacrificing his children is wrong, he already did that once, so he's willing to do it again. The other thing that this could be saying, and I think a little bit more likely, is the simple observation that an evil done once is more likely to be done twice. Once you've transgressed in a specific way, it's much easier to repeat that transgression. The major vice of the father in this story seems to be cowardice. He knows that they shouldn't sacrifice the children, but he fails to live up to the moral duties he has, and he accepts passivity, allowing his wife to be actively evil. This is pretty reminiscent of the failings of Adam. An often overlooked part of the story of Adam and Eve is Genesis chapter 3, verse 6. So she took some of its fruit and ate it, and she also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and he ate it. This is important because up to this point in the fall, Adam hadn't been clearly present. Eve was present. Eve talked to the snake. Eve was tempted by the snake. And it turns out Adam was there the whole time. God gives the command to not eat of the tree of good and evil to Adam before Eve is created. The snake asks Eve about why you don't eat from this tree, and she gives a slightly incorrect answer. So she's certainly been made aware of this rule, but it's not entirely clear if it's Adam who told her, if it was God who told her. When God asks her why she did this, she says she was tricked by the snake. But when Adam is asked why he's eaten of the fruit, he says, "The woman whom you put here with me, she gave me the fruit from the tree, so I ate it." Implicitly, Adam blames not only the woman, but God. This feels a lot like the story of Hansel and Gretel, where the father is thinking, oh, I know that what we're doing is wrong, but I'm going to allow it to happen anyway. And we see the story shift a lot of the blame to the mother, even though the father is just as much a co-conspirator, if a slightly less willing one.